Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with news from Trinidad and Tobago. Jonal John, the woman who was first detected with the Omicron COVID-19 variant in Trinidad and Tobago, has been charged. The charge against her comes after 2 months of investigations by the police service. John, 33 of San Juan, is expected to appear before an ARIMA magistrate on April 19. The charge states that she willingly omitted to carry out conditions given by the Quarantine Authority acting under the authority of the Quarantine Act, in which she was required to upload a negative PCR test result in an application to obtain a TNT travel pass. Last December, John traveled from New York to Panama, then Trinidad and Tobago. She was said to be COVID-19 positive and breached the country's travel protocols. John has since said that she was considering legal action since she claimed that she never willingly attempted to gain access without a PCR test. In that interview, she said that she took 2 PCR tests and 1 rapid antigen test before she traveled from New York through Panama, then Trinidad and Tobago. The woman claimed that she was allowed to leave JFK International Airport to Panama pending her results from the 2 previous PCR tests, as she had a negative rapid antigen test. However, one of her PCR tests said she was negative, while the other showed she was positive. Still with news from Trinidad and Tobago, government will move very soon to ensure that all public vehicles are electric, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced at Tuesday's Conversations with the Prime Minister event. Some drivers who welcomed the news had reminded government of the need for proper infrastructure for electrical vehicles, so this will not fail as the bid for CNG, compressed natural gas, fueled vehicles did. During his contribution, Rowley said the move towards a CNG policy was more or less obsolete now, as it was never fully accepted by the driving public. He said he would instruct the Energy Minister on Tuesday to accelerate government's program to seek and obtain its new fleet of electric buses for Trinidad and Tobago. He said that the Finance Ministry will also move more aggressively to encourage the driving public to use electric vehicles. The Prime Minister cited large figures in the usage of liquid premium fuel, which increased from 35 million litres in 2016 to 105 million litres last year alone. He said cars on the road are scored to using premium gas, and that has to do with availability. If Trinidad and Tobago is going electric, he said it will be generated from local gas and not imported fuels. Rowley said with the policy for electric transport to come, people should be on notice to start looking for electric cars ahead, as Trinidad and Tobago cannot continue its use of liquid premium fuel as it has done for the past 4 years. And finally, Guatemala's Congress has voted in favor of a law which prohibits same-sex marriage. The law will also prohibit the teaching of sexual diversity in schools and raise the prison sentences for women seeking abortion. Abortion is banned in Guatemala except in cases where the woman's life is at risk. In order to come into force, the law still needs to be signed by Guatemala's president. The Life and Family Protection Law was passed by an overwhelming majority in the conservative-led Congress. Only 8 lawmakers out of 160 voted against it. It is not yet clear whether the president, a conservative, will sign it, but many members of his party gave their backing to it. Under the law, women who have induced their own abortion or given their consent to another person to carry it out will face a minimum of 5 years in jail, but the sentences could be much higher. If signed by the president, it will reform Guatemala's civil code to expressly prohibit same-sex marriages. The law also stipulates that schools be banned from teaching pupils that anything other than heterosexuality is normal. Guatemala's human rights ombudsman, Jordan Rodas, called it a violation of rights and a setback to freedom and vowed to challenge it. And that concludes tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining. Good night.